Now I got to figure out which project is always using my 3.75 millimeter needles. Will say most people went down went down a needle size based upon their swatches and used 3.5 millimeters. So I'm using 3.5s. So if you are a looser knitter, that may work well for you, or you want it to be squishier, that may work well for you. If you're a very tight knitter, I would recommend staying on the 3.75s. I'm a tight knitter. There you go. Tight like a twiga, as Damien would say. There are usually alternatives available, but sometimes it means a lot more trouble. Mostly here in the grocery store, it means a lot more expensive. So like the perfect example is chicken nuggets. One of my favorite like working from home lunches is to bake up some frozen chicken nuggets and throw it into a flour tortilla wrap, which I can no longer do, and have like a chicken nugget salad wrap kind of deal with lettuce and tomato and cheese and a dressing. Gluten-free. So a 70-ounce bag of frozen chicken nuggets at the grocery store is like $12. So expensive, but a lot of chicken nuggets. 70 ounces is like a sack of chicken nuggets. If I want the gluten-free frozen chicken nuggets, it is $15 for 12 ounces. So $15 for 12 ounces or $12 for 70 ounces. Kind of a bit of a price difference. Just a smidge. So needless to say, not having a lot of chicken nugget wraps anymore. Is it impossible? No, but there's only one brand and it's hella expensive. So like, for example, last night Damien and I made tacos, and that was fine because I had the gluten-free corn flour tortillas and he had the regular flour he's eating up the regular flour tortillas that we already had. And then we just have 2 bags of shells, and that's fine because the rest of the food is all like meat and veggies, and then the big thing was just making sure we use the gluten-free seasonings. So like stuff like that, super easy to do. Crochet bees. Oh yes, 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 you're making all those cutie bees at the last craft night. They turned out so good. Let's do some shout outs. If y'all don't follow New Dye, you should. Fantastic streamer. Makes the most adorable things. Here's a booby. I just really like saying booby. Ali Junimos was in here earlier. Also a streamer. String Player was in here earlier. Also a streamer. All of the goods and crafts and makers and crafting. There we go. And then Mage did a impromptu stream the other day. So if you want to catch those when they happen, make sure you have your announcements on. They look so soft. Yes, they do. Well, it's all the fuzzy chenille. I just want to like rub them on my face. They're so cute. Also, while we were showing and telling, Gio's latest yarn spin had me drooling. I really hope my yarn turns out as nice as this. I have been taking a spinning break this week. This week has been mostly knitting, and that suits me just fine. I've been too fidgety either too fidgety or too tired to sit at my wheel this week. It's been too much. Oh, excuse me. It looks class. Yes, it does. That's a fantastic way of saying that. All right, let's see. So finished 42 and 43. On the positive side, you'll be happy to find out the cause of the problem. Bash, if this is the cause of the problem, it will take care of most of my health concerns. Like, it will not only fix my stomach problems, it'll fix my random headaches and me being tired and all of my vitamin deficiencies. Like, it'll fix a lot. So hopefully that's what it is and I start feeling like fantastic. So we'll try that out. I want to try spinning once, need to save for spinner and wool. EMS, I always recommend folks start with a drop spindle. I know a lot of people don't necessarily like it, but it is a good kind of, if you can find a wheel to test on, it's nice. But if you don't, a cheap alternative to buying an entire wheel and wool, and a lot of wool, is to get a drop spindle and try it out a little bit before you make a huge money investment. Double checking the pattern here. This is a normal row. Too fidgety to spin, that's a thing. Yeah, I sat down and I kept trying to spin, and all I did was I kept breaking the yarn, or I kept snapping the ply, or it got tangled, and I just didn't have the patience to sit there, and I knew it was me. And I was like, nope, now's not the time. And then I just went into the other room and I read instead. It's like, nope, not in the right space. I'm also kind of trying to not spin as much because the electric eel wheel nano is coming at the end of November, which I'm very excited about. So I don't want to be like spun out by the time it gets here and then not in the mood to spin anything. Because I can't wait to test out my new toy. Y'all, what is this? I just randomly did an extra increase. Why would I have done that? What is going on in my knitting? Should we fix it? I think we should fix it. Let's go back. Let's do some knitting surgery. This is why you should never brioche and drive, kids. Drinking brioche. All right, so let's back up to where the incident occurred. Was before this in decrease. So let's take the decrease back. Figure it out. You cannot have popcorn. No, I can eat popcorn, but I have to make sure that the popcorn doesn't have it's the seasoning on the popcorn that could be a problem. Celiac is gluten. Where's my... If you Google it, Bash, there's a ton of websites and stuff that talk about it. It is a very well documented disease. All right, so let's drop down here. So here's the problem. Is I decreased, and there may not be enough yarn when I go back to increase. It may make it too tight. So let's see what we can find here. All right, so first, let's get this red one on the back. And then we'll go back for the other ones. So going over the previous one, under the others, pulling this up. So this is already making it pretty tight. So let's see how bad it makes the front. So I'm going to do the one on the left first. So coming over here, grabbing the last available loop. So let's see what we got. What are we working with here? It's pretty tight. There's one here. There's the yarn over. There's one stitch, two stitch. Let's see this one. Drop that yarn over, give me a little bit more slack. This one up. Not split the yarn, that would be nice. New Die, thank you for the 5-month sub. Goodbye, ads. Appreciate it immensely. I do apologize. They are definitely supporting the channel. All right, so let's put this back. This is very tight. Can we fix it? All right. So let's go back where we were. Thanks, Daddy Bezos. Yeah. Yeah. It's kind of one of those things where, like, I hate to do it, but now it's actually making us some money. So at least it's worth it. Because again, the more money, you know, well, not again, but the more money the stream makes, the more I can, like, invest in other stuff too. Oh, we did miss. So we missed an extra red one on this side. So let's fix that. But not twist or stitch. Chicken nugget fund. So let's knit this little section and then we'll go back and look and see how bad it is. Or good. Maybe it's great. All right, so the question is it too tight or will it block out? And it looks... Hey, we fixed it! It is tight in here, but you know what? That does look like it's going to even out. That looks nice. I'll take it. I will take it. Well, most of what I make on the stream is like this yarn for the knit along and the patterns and the giveaways and it'll also go towards Atomicon next year and stuff like that. So most of what this stream makes gets reinvested in this stream. So like the electric eel wheel nano that y'all all wanted me to try was a purchase with stream money. Stuff like that. So, most of what this stream makes gets put back into the stream. Punk Pixie Blue, hello. Speaking of supporting the stream, thank you for that 18-month sub. How are you? I hope you are having a lovely weekend. Lava, hello. I'm here to make a hilarious comment and a wholesome post that reminds you that you are enough. Beep, bop, boop. Lava, you're adorable. It worked great. It worked great. We're working on our unicornucopia shawl. I just found a mistake and we fixed it together through the power of friendship, just like the ponies would have wanted. I slept until 10 today. It was amazing. Good. We're knitting along on our shawl. We're making great progress. So there were two mistakes. So there was a mistake here in the middle where I did an extra decrease for no reason. So we just all fixed it. Gio, thank you for the 200 biddies. And the chicken nugget fund. And then we had another tiny one here where I did the increase too soon. But the beauty of this is it'll literally block out when I put the pins in. It'll be fine. Are any knitting mistakes unfixable? So like this one is worse. So this one isn't worth fixing because so if I went back here and I undid the increase, I'd have a lot of extra yarn hanging out. So it'd be extra loose. So it's much easier to just move the next increase up and then be able, because when you put the pins in it, you won't be able to see it. It's a teeny tiny mistake. So it's not that things are unfixable. It's that some are worth fixing more than others. Chio, thank you for that gift sub to Amaranth. Pokemon Pearl, thank you for that gift sub to Zuzu's. Y'all are being absolute beans. Thank you very much. I appreciate your support immensely. I have made no mistake of saying that I will continue to stream as long as the stream supports itself. But I also want y'all to know that anything you put into the stream usually gets put back into the stream, which I think is important to know where your money's going. But thanks, gang. Amaranth and Zuzu, please enjoy that ad-free viewing and fancy emotes. But as always, I try and make this stream inclusive. You don't have to pay. You don't have to pay to play. It'll always be free to enjoy. But there are more ads because now the ads are actually making us money. So we'll continue for a while. But there we go. So we have a mistake here, but it's no one's gonna know. And then the really big one that you could tell we just fixed together. So we have the power. Punk Pixie Blue, thank you for that 100 biddies. Thank you for adding some rainbow splash to my teacup. By the power of Grayskull. Something like that. Something like that. Oh, I should put the sound back on so y'all can hear when things happen. Not that I have any fancy sounds or anything. I need to put some fancy sounds in. It's on the list. It'll happen eventually. By the power of Grayskull. Oh man. I do need to pull the football game up though. I forgot they went live at noon. Get that pulled up on the side bits. I know a guy who makes fancy sounds. I know several people who make fancy sounds. I just haven't gotten around to figuring out what sounds I want. What's Perkins doing now? Is she not in here? I don't know, man. I don't know. Sounds are dope. I like them in my ear holes. Y'all know what's great? Sound. Pokemon Pearl, I love you so much. I hope you know that. Floofy Moose, hello, welcome. Happy weekend. We do have a hype train going on that y'all have started. Y'all have started for another minute. All right. Let's make the football game tiny and put it in the corner. Right over here. Here we go. We're 10-0, but we're at Penn State, but it's not a whiteout game. Ohio does not do good at the whiteout games. To be fair, I wouldn't do well at the whiteout games. It's too loud. It upsets me. I am talking college sports ball, but sports ball talk will be limited for those of the unsport affiliate variety. All right. Dear Holocron, Will I manage to get my son's sleep schedule back on within the next week? That is a fantastic question. Let us ask. New Oracle. It is. It's a Jedi holocron. We're going to ask Yoda. Dear Jedi holocron, will Punk Pixie Blue's son, Punk Bunny, get his sleep schedule back on within the next week?
No.
I'm very sorry. I'm very sorry. Guys, thank you to everyone for that hype train. Y'all are super adorable, and I love all of you. I was talking with my mom, and she never swears unless she skips a loop. If that happens, need to take notes on sailors need to take notes on swear words. So when I was in Minnesota visiting Punk Pixie, we stopped by a store, and they had stickers that had a mermaid on a rock, and it said "Face of an angel, mouth of a sailor." And me. No, Tommy Flower Hands, no. Bad Yoda. I'm very sorry, Punk Pixie. Yoda has spoken. All right, let's get the pattern pulled back up. All right. We just did row 44. Now we gonna do row 45. All right. Who is the most accurate, Sarcastic Nine Ball or Yoda? So far, they both have like 95% accuracy. They are eerily quite good. Far better than they have any reason to be. So I couldn't tell you. You have the right to ask questions? And the holocron has the right to be a dick when answering it, apparently. Sometimes our wise mentors speak hard truths. Speaking of Star Wars, if y'all aren't watching Andor, whether you are a Star Wars fan or not, my goodness, is it really good. Like, so much better than it has a right to be. And there are not enough people talking about how good it is. And my favorite part about it right now is that Star Wars Twitter, no one thinks the show is bad. Everyone is arguing about why it is so good. And the discussion is amazing. And the last episode, oh no, gang, we have a little bean just hanging out down here. What happened? What happened to this bean? He didn't get scooped up in our decrease. Bean down. This one may be harder to fix. We may have to rip back for this guy. So we'd have to undo this increase. This one may be easier to rip back on. Stitch down! Dang it. That's all right. Here, let's rip some brioche. It's all right, gang. It's okay. It's okay. It's all gonna be all right. Here we go. So this is the row. This is the row. So I'm just gonna pick up the yarn over in the stitch. I'm not gonna worry about what direction all the stitches are in. Just gonna capture all the lost beans. No stitch left behind, Tommy Flower Hands. We never leave a stitch behind. All right, so this is where the problem started. This stitch is also not connected to anything, so we may have to also undo the next row. Which is fine. It's fine. So now we're going to undo from here, and I'm just going to pick up from the other side, and we'll pick up in the middle of that row, and it's all fine. No fear knitting here, guys. We're going to do it. There should always be a back stitch and then a front stitch. And if you don't get the yarn over, that's fine. You just have to get the loops. So that's an increase. Pretty sure. So that has an extra loop to it. So we'll come back for that. We'll deal with that when we get back to it. Don't worry about that yarn over. Get this one. This one. Big thing about when you're ripping back brioche is be gentle. Don't yank. This was another increase. So we're going to grab them. We'll come back. We'll make it look pretty here in a hot minute. If we miss one, that's okay. And then our decrease. All right. So let's go back and fix the stitches. So there's the decrease with the yarn over. Boop. Here's an increase that I missed. So let's go back on this time. Sleepy time for me, Lava. Have a lovely night. All the naps. Hope the naps are lovely. So let's go back to this increase stitch and we'll redo the increase. So there's the knit stitch. So we're going to knit, yarn over, knit. So I'm just going to put all these stitches in the right direction. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go all the way around and we're just going to fix the stitches, okay? So I'm just flipping them all in the right direction, making sure we have all the yarn overs. Make sure I haven't split stitches, which has definitely happened. That one's missing the yarn over, so we'll just pick that boy back up. Get these all lined up again. So there is our decrease stitch with our yarn over. And this one is another increase stitch that didn't go quite right. So let's just fix our increase. It's the same thing as before. Drop down to the stitch before. So I'm going to knit. So pulling the knit and the yarn over, yarn over. And then knit. Boop. So I have my knit, my yarn over with the red, my knit. Next one's a purl stitch. Pick that yarn over back up. Just taking our time, fixing our stitches, making sure we haven't left anything behind. And then I'm going to come back around because we picked up in the middle of the row, right? So now I'm going to fix the beginning of the row stitches. And then I'm going to catch back up on chat and figure out what row we left off on. So same thing here. I'm just triple checking our stitches, twisting them back the right way, making sure everything has its yarn over. Has the right yarn over. Nothing looks crisscrossed. And there's this stitch here. All right, so let me catch up on chat and then we'll look at the pattern to find out where we ripped back to. Laddering brioche sounds maddening. Not too bad. Not too bad. There's a whole 12-cup pot of coffee made, and not only is it 100% decaf, but it's also burnt. No, why? Oh, baby. Baby, sorry. Star Wars philosophic question. Robots are clearly sentient. They're called droids. It's fine. Are clearly sentient, but are they accepted as living beings? No, they are often discriminated. Case in point, when Luke goes into Wooher's cantina for the classic cantina scene in Star Wars Episode 4: A New Hope, the guy goes, "We don't serve their kind here," and points to, I assume, a sign that says, "No droids allowed." That is actually an ongoing theme in Star Wars. Because all droids are sentient, but not all droids have a personality. So there's an ongoing kind of philosophic question about, like, do you have to wipe a droid's memory every so often to keep it from building a personality? Or do they grow personalities? Like, there's a lot of very good questions. Do androids dream of electric sheep? Correct. Bash, if you want to get like really deep into the philosophic minutia of it, I highly recommend the What the Force podcast. Marie Claire Gould is one of my favorite humans, and has fascinating conversations about this very thing. And she also has a spin-off podcast called What the Fiction, where she does like additional TV shows. Like she did episode breakdowns of WandaVision, and those are fantastic. I would say like all droids are sentient, but not all droids are self-aware. But you could also say that of people. But it is, there is a lot of colonialism discussion in Star Wars about people and species and beings who are considered less than, and how the Empire addresses that, and it's very interesting. So, like, for example, it is very common knowledge in the expanded universe novels that the Empire has a non-human rule. Capital H-U, capital M-A-N. So if you're not a human and you're not a man, you are less than to the Empire and must fight to overcome. Which is part of what made Admiral Thrawn such an interesting figure originally in the expanded universe novels that they've really built on, because by Empire standards, Admiral Thrawn should have been thrown right out a long time ago, but his results speak for themselves, which make him a very interesting character. Have a nice time zone. May your yarns never tangle, and may the Seuss sprites on your mousepad help with your crafting. Lava, that is the nicest sentiment if you are still here. Not to mention clones. Correct. Correctamundo. All right. Let's talk knitting. So I can tell from the direction the yarn's coming from that we're starting on a wrong side row. And we're starting at the beginning of our bump, but we didn't go all the way back to the beginning. So it's at least past row 36. Because 36 is the last increase on our bump. So let's see here. You know what I'm going to do? I'm actually going to go back to the beginning and fix this mistake. Which tells me that this should be row 40. I believe is, no. Row 38 is where we made an additional one. So, okay, so let's look here. So we have, before our increase, so we have our increase row here. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 stitches before our increase. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 stitches, and then an increase puts us at row 38. So there we go. So I am going to go back to the beginning of this row here, but I'm going to tink it. I'm going to unknit it nice and slow. The nice thing about tinking or unknitting is you can really do it from at either side, as long as you're taking care that you don't twist your stitches as you put them back on the needle. Picking up that yarn over below. There were reviewers of the first Star Wars who said R2-D2 and C-3PO were the most human characters in the movie. It is true sometimes. C-3PO certainly has the most human reactions to things. And a lot of the emotion that you feel comes from C-3PO having a moment. Like, let's be honest. If I were in Star Wars and things were happening and I was like, what is going on here? I would react very much the same way 3PO is reacting for most things. Do I like to think I'd be cool and calm and legit under pressure? Of course. Would I be? Hell nah. I'd be like, we are all going to die. Let's see here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. Okay. There we go. Back on track. Now, here's the most important part about fixing brioche. Make sure nobody else got left behind in our fix. So I'm going to double check. No more loop-de-loops. Everything looks good. I probably should have been doing more checks as we knit. This side looks good too. Always double check both sides when you're fixing something. All right. Is that the reviewer's pissy dig at the actors? Maybe. I mean, that's entirely possible. But like originally the droids were like... There's also a theory that for Star Wars A New Hope, the droids were a metaphor for like the audience, which I think is a fun idea. Because you are kind of experiencing things as the droids experience them. And then they quickly grew into their own beings and their own characters, their own personality with their popularity. So that's an idea I always like. Because that's how you're introduced to the action. The first characters you are introduced to, apart from Vader coming in and chopping everything down and all these rebel soldiers that die with the stormtroopers, the first true characters you're introduced to are R2-D2 and C-3PO. Done with the body of the sweater. Congrats! I might have made it too long, but it is fine. Well, the beauty is, if you try it on and the hem is too long, you can always rip it back. Even if it was bottom up, because knitting is reversible. So you can always, once you block it out and try it on, you can always go back and adjust it. Oh, it's not for me. Well, tunics are in style now. I'm sure it'll be fine. Also, I'd much rather have something that is too long than too short. Always, always, always. R2-D2 always seemed to be in the know. He always had a purpose, didn't hesitate, and was loyal AF. You also have to think, like, R2-D2 never got his mind erased. So in mental age, he's always older than C-3PO. Because 3PO is always getting his memory wiped. Which essentially, like... I always feel like de-ages him somehow. Resets his, you know, quote-unquote mental age. R2-D2 is the human equivalent of I am too tired, too old and too tired for this shit. It's not for me, and my mom is bigger than me, so I think it will be fine. There you go. Again, Always better to be too long than too short. There we go. Look, gang, we fixed it. We're back. So there we go. We just reknit row 39. Looking at the edge here, we're back on track. And now we can knit row 40. Easy peasy, rice and cheesy. Didn't C-3PO save R2-D2 from being destroyed? I think the beauty is they both save each other. I think they both save each other. All right, we have been going for almost 3 hours without a break, and I am officially out of coffee. So we're going to take a quick break. We're going to run an ad. I'm going to grab some more coffee. Y'all need to get up and stretch. I think an ad's running right now, actually. So let's do that. We'll be right back. Go stretch. Stretch. Hey gang, we're back. I think the ad is just finishing up, so I'll give everybody a couple seconds. I hope everyone's stretched, used the bathroom, got a drink, did the thing. Penn State just got a touchdown. It's very upsetting. They now have the lead. Have to do something about this. Okay. Welcome back. What's everybody up to today? Y'all got fancy weekend plans? I have Dungeons and Dragons tonight. I'm very excited. We haven't played since before I got sick. We haven't played since 13 Disciple came down in August. So like I think our last game was the beginning of August or the end of July. So I'm very excited to be back. And then Sunday is going to be a Critical Role catch-up day. And World of Tanks. My World of Tanks bonus stream. All right, let's pull up this chart. Let's see if we can at least finish a chart B repeat. The rest of chart B, part 2. So we have one full chart B repeat. And let's see what damage we can do in the next hour. If y'all had questions about fixing brioche, please holler. I know Floofy Moose was saying that they had never seen that they can do brioche but had never fixed it. So if y'all have questions about what happened, please tell me. Otherwise, we gonna do the thing. Damien says hello to everybody, by the way. I ran into him downstairs. He is awake. He's not watching the stream, though. He's playing he's watching a basketball. For someone who doesn't sports ball, he's watching a sports documentary. Y'all can explain that one to me later. He's watching the stream. He just left a comment in chat. No, he just threw emotes. He's not actually watching the stream. And he only threw the emotes in because I asked him to double check my stream while I was in the kitchen. That counts. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. He's not doing anything. When I last left him, he went into the bathroom downstairs with all 3 cats, closed the door, and turned the fan on. That means he's pooping. And we may never see all 3 cats again. One of them may not make it through that experience. He just likes documentaries, not the sports aspect. I don't know, Fergster. Tell me. I don't get it. "90% of the people in his stream give that level of participation, so it's all he knows." Oh no. If I had known there was going to be this much shade in chat today, I would have brought an umbrella. You're not wrong, though. He can pretend the football teams are tanks. It's not football. He's watching a basketball documentary. Neither of us watch basketball, which is an even bigger mystery. Just find a cozy spot under this tree right here. This shade tree. Basketball's not really a thing. I don't really follow it. I don't really care. I'm really big into college football, and I love me some baseball, but I especially love going to a baseball game. I think televised baseball is very hard to follow. And I specifically enjoy minor league baseball. Those are the games we always went to. That's just how it shook down. We have a basketball team here, but I don't really follow them. Also, by the time the basketball exciting part gets around, so like the really exciting part of basketball is March Madness, right? And I'm always busy with Sock Madness, so that's a no-go for me. Busy knitting, cannot watch sports. So 9 hours of sitting in the hot sun with warm beer and crappy food instead of basketball. First of all, Rainbow Brights, the Lakeland Flying Tigers games Wednesday nights are at 6 p.m., so they're night games, so the weather's actually quite nice. And second of all, the Wednesday night home games are all-you-can-eat nights, so for $10 you get admission to the park, plus all of the hot dogs, pretzels, popcorn, and churros you can eat. And the beer is always freezing cold because Florida takes its air conditioning and its drink temperature very seriously. So first of all, you done did it wrong. Wow, you can eat crappy food. If you've never had a ballpark hot dog, not like the brand ballpark, but a dog at the park, it just tastes better. Not that I'd think I can ever eat one again. Now that I think about it, I don't know if those are now Stacy safe to eat anymore. Because I can't have pretzels and I can't have churros. There's only so much popcorn you can eat. Now I'm regretting my life choices. Oh, why is everything so weird all of a sudden? Basketball seems a game that's more fun to play than watch. I would agree. Also, it's just a lot of running back and forth. It's not as exciting. I don't know. Now I have to go find out if Tommy Flower Hands is the one who mans the hot dog stand. What if he cooks it in flour water? Just dunks his hands straight into the water to snatch a dog every time. Doesn't even use the tongs. We're gonna go to a restaurant and I'm gonna meet like a chef or a server named Tommy, and I'm gonna lose my shit in a very public place for no apparent reason. The court is too small and they score so many points it gets boring when they score. That is a very good point. Basketball is usually very high scoring and it's not as exciting. There's also no huge plays. It's never a big play. Like in football. And they don't really have like minor league basketball. Like you either play professionally or it's like college ball. There's nothing in the middle. All of them make much too much money in professional sports to be very interesting. That's the problem I have with the NFL. They're all so overpaid that there's just no hustle anymore. Like a goal in soccer or touchdown is a big deal. Yes. I will. You know what? I do enjoy the soccer or the football. I do enjoy watching that. That is a good point, because that is much more exciting, and the plays are much like the trick plays are much more exciting to watch. I do get very highly invested in the World Cup and the championships for soccer. The burning hot water sanitizes his hands every time. Now it's just burnt Tommy Flower hands. I'm falling asleep at this no basketball nonsense, so I'm finally going to go to bed. Rainbow, enjoy it. Sleep well. Have a lovely weekend. Thank you very much. This is turning out great. Even with having to rip back, it's turning out fantastic. All right, let's see if we can put a sprint in. Let's see how much we can knit in the next bit. We at least have to finish, make up what we ripped back, and finish up this chart. So let's see how far we can get. I'd sing how far I'll go, but then the peoples will be upset, and I will get copyright problems. Be in trouble with Daddy Mouse. If you want to sell it, I would be down to buy it from you. Rainbow, if you wanted a commission piece, I would be very happy to talk to you about it. I don't openly do commissions, mostly because I'm really slow at it and I can't promise when it'll be done. And most people just don't know what they want, and I am too tired for that nonsense. But if you would like to talk, I would be very willing to sit down with you. Mostly because you also understand what goes into it, so you understand the value of it, and you will know how to take care of it when it is done. Now go to bed. That goes for most of the regulars in chat. But like, I would much rather take the time and teach everyone how to do brioche so everyone can knit their own brioche shawl than sit here and like hoard brioche commissions. I want a rainbow unicorn thingy like you're making whenever you get it done. We can talk. We can definitely talk. You think about color, what color you want, and how big you want it. I love brioche. We'll talk. We'll talk. All right, what row are we on? Not an increase. We're not going to make the same mistake. There we go. Yeah. Now I will say goodnight. Rainbow, get out. You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. Should just pull up Samuel L. Jackson reading Go the Fuck to Sleep. Stacey's shawl keeps making me hum Under the Sea. It is kind of spirally seashell-y. Especially at this size. It started off as a Pumoji, and now we've reached seashell size. And soon it will be impaling weapon sized. Soon. It's like a wee hermit crab. It is very cute. It's very cute and it's turning out really good. My new needles are ridiculously long. I'm going to hack them. Oh no. Are they like straight needles? Or are they like circular needles? It sounds very violent. They get stuck in your armpits in every place. Okay, that's much too long. Nope, not that. When I first started learning to knit, I used straight needles. And there was a pair I had inherited from my grandma that was like I would not have been able to bring them on an airplane without constantly stabbing the people next to me. They were so long. But she would knit like Afghans on these straight needles, which boggled my mind. Do not. She must have had so much arm strength. Like, it just sounds heavy just thinking about it. Nope, circular needles for me. I'm a circular fan. That should have been an increase, so let's go back and fix that. Right, knit. Nope, I got all sorts of discombobulated and I just started switching my knits and purls. I was so upset thinking about those needles. Knit, purl. Knit, purl, increase. They're aluminum and much more fun to use than the wooden ones I have. More tactilely pleasing. You do need, it does make a difference. Like the glide, how sticky or smooth the needles are. Like I enjoy wooden needles, but I especially enjoy the smoother steel-tipped needles. Yarnho, hello. Baking coffee, tiny baby pancakes with blackberry conserves and syrup. Ooh, that sounds delicious. That sounds absolutely marvelous. I hope you made enough to share. Let's see. So here I am going to go back because I did purl this stitch. I don't know if you can see it. So for whatever reason, or I knit it and it should have been a purl because it looks like it was probably on the back side, but there's this big old red lump sticking out. So we're just gonna drop down and fix it real fast because we can do that. We have the technology. So I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna undo that increase I just did. I'm gonna drop down one row real fast. Just pull that yarn under, because that's what the problem was, is it went over instead of under. Ah, and I pulled out too much. There we go. Fixed. Back on track. Now we can do our increase. Like it never happened. Le boop. Done. Nailed it. I sure did. Starts handing out plates of pancakes. Take one down, pass around. Make sure everyone gets a first serving before you go back for seconds. Ohio is not doing well today at this football game, guys. But it is halftime. So maybe they can all get a nap. A nice long nap for my poor football players. Discord food pick. Food porn time. Check that out in a hot second. Oh, so speaking of weekend plans, first of all, y'all tell me what you're up to this weekend, because y'all have been suspiciously quiet about your weekend plans. And no one's invited me to the revolution, so I assume you're not going to revolt without me. I don't think I showed these puppies off, but these are my new dice I'm going to use tonight at D&D that the lovely Hinka got me. Look at these beauties. They're Atomic Stacy dice. In this beautiful minty purple. Look at how nice they are. They're so heavy. I could brain Damien with one of these. In his mysterious death. So I'm very excited. These are the buttes I'm going to be using. They look so nummy. They're so click-clacky, math-rocky. I love them. I like the click-clack math rocks. I bought my first dice last night, Artnet. I need to know what set you finally ended up with. The wee kids came around my door last night during their Halloween bit. They were hilarious. This wee man, about 2 feet high, with his wee white ghosty sheet over him. Proper handmade effort. That's adorable. Did you give him a rock? I got some candy. I got a rock. All right, let's finish this row. We'll check Discord. Coconut216, thank you for the follow. Thanks for being here. Let's untwist this one. Oh, and then I'll turn my light back on. Back up. Happy to see knitting streamers. Aw. Coconut nut. Apologies. I didn't realize you were too nutty. It's all of you and your terrible jokes you've rubbed off on me. I hope you're happy. There we go. Boop. All right, let's see. Y'all were posting pictures, and I want to see the thing. Oh my gosh, these pancakes look amazing. Yes, please. Tiny, tiny pancakes are my favorite pancakes. Tiny pancakes are the best pancakes. And also, a little fish. Meet Guppy. Grandson got him 3 years ago at the town summer fair. His classmate won it throwing a ring on a bottle, but her mom wouldn't let her keep it. He sits next to the sink and helps me do dishes. I need a friend that helps me do dishes. He's so cute. I love him. Really love these colors. Me too. They are super growing on me. It is also very fall, which makes me very happy as well. I'm digging the fall vibes. All right, let's see. We have 3 more rows to finish this repeat, and then we're going to talk charts. Because a couple of y'all had a question about the red lines on the charts. So we'll go over that in case anyone still has questions. And if you guys are just joining us, as a reminder, we're knitting the Unicornucopia shawl for our horn along. Dice in the D&D thread. Hold up. Oh, excuse me. These are so cute. Yes. These are beautiful. You have chosen wisely. And also, all the D6s with the hearts make me very happy. Gio, what's this? This is cute. Oh, they're tiny mini character sheets. Aww. That's very cute. Little D&D Easter eggs. That's adorable. I like that very mucho. I like it very mucho. Can I use sock yarn to make this? Yes. So yarn hoe, the pattern for this calls for a fingering weight yarn and a DK mohair, but I'm using just 2 fingering weight yarns. Standard sock yarn, 2-ply fingering weight sock yarn. It's dice in a random kit. That's adorable. And so much fun. So much fun. All right, let's pull this back up. So we have a right side row. Okay, so we're starting our decreases for our next spirally bit. That'd be a cute non-religious Easter activity. Easter egg hunt for character and some mini dice. A special one-shot after dinner. Oh my gosh. So everybody has to find like an egg with a character and an egg with some dice. And then after everyone's found their sets, you sit down and play a game. So cute. Please sign me up right now. If only I had IRL friends. All my friends hang out on the internet. My kid showed me, now I need it. It comes with dice. Well, I'm thinking like if you made an event out of it kind of thing. What about yardage for fingering? It should be 1 full skein of each. And then as we go, so after we get this repeat done and we're talking about the charts, I'm actually going to talk about yarn weight. But that is a fantastic question. Great question. I'm so glad you asked. Please rate 2.5 more rows. So yarn hoe, I will say, if you go back and look at the, we have some VODs up where I did the brioche, how to brioche, and we knit a swatch and we talked about yardage a little bit. My skeins are 400 yards each. Yes, I do recommend knitting the swatch, just to make sure that you know, kind of like if your gauge is roughly about the same, then you'll use roughly the same amount of yarn. If your gauge is way up, then you'll need more yarn. And if your gauge is way down, then you will have leftovers kind of thing. So I do recommend knitting it just so you can kind of math it. But we are going to talk about it here in a hot second. So you are just in time. Perfect timing. You should buy a lottery ticket with that timing. Let's see. Is there something fancy at the end of this row? No, there is not. Great. Is the gold really shiny on my dice or oh, for Fergster, for my yarn, is it shiny? It has a bit of silk in it, so it has some sheen to it. It has a bit of a gloss. But it's not like glittery. It just has a nice sheen. What do you think of this flavor of yarn? Flavor? Is it in the Discord? It's lovely. Thank you. I tried very hard to pick colors that I did not already have a ton of in my wardrobe. Already assembled in my knitting wardrobe staple. Like, I have a lot of navy and gray shirts, so this will go really nicely with both of them, with both kind of color styles. Trying to wear more of my knitwear. That's my goal for 2023. Been talking shite in here for an hour and Gio just noticed me. Gio's been busy. Gio is on a mission today. And busy. All right, one more row, and then we'll finish the first. So one more row, and we'll have finished the first repeat of chart B, and then we're going to talk repeats, and then we'll talk yardage. Because this is kind of the next step. As you go about it. Gio, I hope lunch was nice. Did I... Go. Excuse me. Oh, that should have been a decrease, so let's go back. Without splitting our stitch. There we go. So there's our decrease. And our slipping the stitches. You made me want food. When do I not make people want food? Maybe a better question. When is that not a thing that we do? That I specifically do? Gio gave me my best sassy answer for my boss. Look, you should be thankful I remembered to put pants on. Did that go over well, Fergster? Like, I feel like if I said that at work, depending upon who I said it to, I would either get a great laugh or I would be asked to clear out my desk. I don't know if there's a lot in the middle. I have often said the best plans are no plans when people ask me what I'm doing for the weekend, and home is where the pants aren't. I can't not use it. It is a very good argument. It's a good point and well made. Okay, picks. Beautiful. Beautiful. Finish this row and then we're gonna talk all the things. This is gonna go great. Two, and then our bit here. Okay. It went over well, but it's definitely one you choose your audience for. Yes, it is. All right. So now it's getting so big, I kind of have to put it catty corner so you can see it. All right. So here we go. So we have finished our first repeat of chart B. Let's get it so it lays flat. There we go. Nailed it. It's looking so horny good. Boop. There's our marker with where we started today. So making some good progress. So let's talk the pattern. So looking at this pattern, let's go here. So we can show this off. Oh, first, lies. First, let's look at the Discord and let's look at yarns. Ooh, cashmere. All right, so the first color is this super fun rainbowy bit, which I love. Very fun. And then the second color is this cashmere. Ooh. This is almost got like the purple undertones to it. I really like it. I really like it. Okay, so looking back here, let's look. So there is not... So all of the purple in here... Oh, no, it's a... Dang it. Dang it. Damien has a thing to where when an ad pops up, it says in the background, like, mind the ads. And I need to figure out how he did it. And then ask if he can do it for me. Mostly because I just keep talking. It's mostly a reminder for me. I tell people that I plan to do as little as possible, that no one would believe me. I go too hard. Mostly haven't said it to boss because I never see or talk to him again. That must be a nice relationship. That must be nice. No, I love my boss. We chat constantly. It's a lot of fun. We constantly crack each other up. My boss is like, hey, there's this executive administration position you should sign up for. And I was like, that sounds much too stuffy. No, I swear too much to handle only executives. That doesn't seem conducive to a good workplace at all. While we're holding back. Okay, great. So I'm using, we'll get into what I'm using in a minute. So what I was saying is both of these yarns look beautiful. Oh, that's much too large. So the thing you have to look for is there any of this color in this skein, right? So for this one, even the purples are not that dark. So there'll be a nice, really dividing line between the really bright color and your really dark color. This one would be one to where it's worth doing a swatch for, because either one could easily be the main color. You could either have this gorgeous multicolored background with like the really thick dark lines, or you could have the really dark background with this highlighted multicolor sticking out. Either one would look fabulous. So doing the swatch will help you figure out if your gauge is good, so which needle size to use. And it'll help you decide what color you want for the front, because either one is fantastic. Anonymous, thank you so much for gifting Yarnho with a sub. Yarnho, congratulations. Now you don't have to worry about ads for the next 30 days. And enjoy all the sweet, sweet emotes. Anonymous, you're a bean. There we go. This looks gorgeous. I really like the purple. I think it'll be a really fun undertone. If you want it to stand out even more, the black would work better, but I really like this color. So I think these should work great together. The best way to make absolutely certain is to just, when you get it, do a swatch, because it's much better. It's much easier to do a small swatch and say yes or no, I hate it, and then save one of them for later, than it is to just commit and then be like, oh no, this isn't working out. So that's my recommendation. I think they'll look great. Moving on to talk about yardage. So for the pattern, so this is the shape of the pattern. It starts up here. Let me get the draw feature out. There we go. Boop. So it starts up here and it gets wider and wider and wider until it gets to this point, and then it gets narrower and narrower. And then you cast off at the end here. So what you want to make sure of is that you don't run out of yarn before you get to this point, and then you get down here and you have to like cut the corner off. That'll be very sad. So, as we're repeating, so this section here is cut up into 3 repeats, right? So there's the beginning section and the setup that we did. We just finished our first repeat of chart B. So there's 2 more repeats of chart B, and then this line where we move on to the decreases, and there should be 3 repeats of chart C, and then the ending bit. So there should be 1, 2, 3. Oh, I put too many lines in there. Here we go. So we got 1, 2, 3 repeats, and then the ending bit. So what you want is so the big question is, if you're worried that you're going to run out of yarn, don't do the 3rd repeat and just do the beginning, do 2 repeats, and then 2 repeats, and then the end bit. So that's kind of what we're looking at. So what I would recommend is, after you do this first repeat, weigh your yarn. And then after you do the second repeat, weigh your yarn. And as long as you have half-ish, then you should be set. In theory, this should be a 2 skein shawl. So when we're getting to the repeats here, and let's scroll down. This is a paid pattern, so I don't want to show it off too much, but I kind of have to. So we're going to zoom in to just a section so I don't give the whole thing away. Here we go. All right, so I did a 1 because that means I finished the first repeat once. All of chart B 1 time. So looking here, I know it's a little hard to see, but there is a big old fat red line that goes down here. And what this means is it's a repeat line. So the first time you knit this, the first time we do chart B, you just knit once across the row. the whole way through. The second time you do this, you'll knit up to here, up to the red line. Okay. You'll knit to the second red line, and then you'll go back and knit that red line and then the end. So chart B, part 1. So the second time you're doing chart B, you're going to do this red section a second time. So the beginning, you'll do the middle section twice and then the end. The third time you do it, you'll do the beginning, you'll do the middle section 3 times, and then you'll do the end. So that's what that red line is. That's your repeat. So looking here, the repeat would be this increase to right before this increase, essentially. So you would knit the first bit, you'd knit extra lines. So basically, instead of having 2 swirls in the middle of a row, soon we'll have 3 swirls. And then the third time I do it, I'll have 4 swirls. And it'll just continue to get wider and wider and wider. But it's the same pattern over and over and over. 2 as in 1 of each color or 2 of each color. You should only need 1 of each color if you have done the swatch to measure. And your gauge, if you've done the swatch to measure your gauge, and you haven't like changed your knitting style halfway through, kind of deal. So as long as you're staying consistent, you should use the same amount of yarn consistently, kind of thing. So for example, let's weigh our yarn. So we start out with, I think it was like 108 grams per skein. Or 105. It was just over 100. A smidge over 100. So after our first repeat, we're down to 95 grams. Still so much yarn. Look in here, we have a little bit more of the gold, which makes sense that we have more of the gold than the red because the red is our edge. So we will be using more of the red than the gold because of that edging on there. Yarn hoe, a scale is fantastic. I use it especially for spinning, but this is just a kitchen scale. So it goes upstairs and downstairs a lot. And my good old NutriFit. Anything that measures grams and ounces is really all you need. It is very handy to have as a knitter. You can get the tiny pocket ones. Those are really nice. I do find they're less accurate. And I like the bigger one because like when I'm weighing fiber, then I can put it fits everything. I don't have to worry about it hanging off the side and wondering if it's correct. And I can use it for my hash too. Hash isn't legal here, Fergster. I can't have any. No weed for Stacy's. They've always mathed with yards since weight can differ depending upon the fiber used. So there's no way to tell how many yards are left is the problem, right? So I can look at the yarn and I can say, all right, so I'm using Emma's here, hang on. Let's So I'm using Emma's yarn in the Practically Perfect sock. So on here, 100 grams is 400 yards. So I started with like 110 grams. So I know that, so let's get on my calculator real fast. So 110 grams should have been about 440 yards, right? So now that I know that I have 95 grams left, I should have 380 yards left. So knowing the weight, the yardage, and then the weight helps you kind of calculate that out much easier. So you know. So the Foxy Lady is the red color, and Teddy, as in teddy bear, is the gold color of this. So the main point I'm trying to make is just double check when you get to that last repeat, because if you don't have enough yarn, that is the easiest place to cut out the middle so you don't have to play yarn chicken at the end. So if you have questions about yardage, if any of that didn't make sense, if you want me to go over something again, let me know. How long is your horn? Oh, baby. Oh, baby. This, you want me to measure? I measure. I measure for you. Let me get one of this sweet bags of measuring tapes. Look at this. Lava sent me all the measuring tapes because I had a whole rant about how I could never find one when I needed one. All right, so unblocked, just measuring up. I'm currently 12.5 inches. Even a cop wouldn't ask me that. Look, normally I'd say that's between you and your doctor, but we'll talk. I'm at 13.5. Are you at the same spot or did you, am I bullshit tension? That's okay. I knew my tension was going to be a bit smaller. So I knew that if I used 5s, my gauge would be too big. And so I chose to go down a bit. So that's another thing you have to think about. So because I'm knitting mine in 2-color brioche, in single pass brioche instead of traditional brioche is going to look a lot skinnier. That's why yours and Zuzu's in the chat looks a lot skinnier than mine is, because knitting single pass automatically stretches it out a bit. So it's very hard to gauge brioche that hasn't been blocked yet, because yours will definitely need to be stretched, and so will mine. Mine will need to be opened up just a smidge, but mine is already much more open than yours is. So length is really hard to tell. Weight of how much yarn you have left would be a much more accurate. So far I have only used about 10 to 15 grams of each skein. So that's why it's important, like, especially if you knit a swatch and you cut your yarn, measure your starting yarn, what your starting weight is, so that you can kind of math it out as you go. And then pulling up your pictures, because these look absolutely gorgeous, right? There is nothing. I'm going to use Zuzu's as a great example, because she's gotten so much further. This looks fantastic. This is great brioche. It looks beautiful. But because it doesn't have those lines in between, like, you can definitely tell that background color isn't as bold yet. So you can definitely tell that when you block it, you're going to have to open it up. So when you look here at these lines, these diagonal lines that go through, like, the knitting itself, beautiful, fabulous. But when you look at mine already has those much deeper lines, and that's just because when I knit, the way I'm knitting brioche just spreads it out a little bit more. So yours is just a little bit more compact, which is fine, but when you block it and you kind of space it out, by pulling your knitting this way, it'll shrink this way. So we're probably at about the same if yours is about an inch off by the time you open it up a little bit. So we're probably about the same. Also, size isn't important. I hear it's what you do with it that matters. Because it wouldn't be Atomic Stacy if we didn't throw an extra dick joke in there at some point. All right. So, looking at the pattern real fast. So we started, so we did our setup and the setup chart. So chart A was the setup chart. Now we're on chart B 3 times. So we've done part 1 and 2 one full time. So we'll do chart B 3 times, we'll do chart C 3 times, and then we'll do chart D, which brings it back down to that other point. So in theory, chart A and chart B per, hang on. So per our diagram here, chart B, so the first half will use more yarn than the second half. But the question is, how much more is yarns? So you don't have to play that yarn chicken. So if you have anywhere close to using about half of the yarn by the time you get to this point, then you'll be more than fine for the rest of it. If you do the setup chart and chart B twice, and then you measure it and it's already getting pretty close to half, maybe skip that last repeat. So we just finished, so we've already done the setup row, and we just finished chart B for the first time. So now we're going to be doing chart B for the second time. After we finish that, when we get to this line, that'll be the next most important measuring tool, if that makes sense. It's a lot. It's all just a lot. I hope you liked it. I'm going to start erasing all the scribbles I've just made all over this thing. I've decided to play Yarn Chicken. I choose violence. That's all right. We'll talk and we'll measure again after we do the next repeat. So, this is where I'll take the picture. This is where we'll leave it. I will probably knit a couple more rows this afternoon, just because we didn't knit a lot on it. We didn't knit a lot on it today because we had to rip some back. So I will post where I end up, and I'll post a picture as well. But we have made it through. All right, gang, last chance to ask knitting questions, and then we're going to find somebody to raid. Speak now, forever hold your peace. Or forever hold your pee, you know, whatever. Whatever floats your boats. Sack is way funnier. Waiting was hilarious. Y'all. I know you already said these things. I've had to miss streams due to some family things. So can you buy a pattern from this? Where is it in Discord? It's right here, Yarnho. Not a problem. So if you prefer to buy it on Ravelry, you can buy it on Ravelry. If you prefer to not use Ravelry, it is available on Payhip. It is the same price either way. It's a $5 pattern. So whatever application website you prefer, you are set to use. The other thing to remember, very, very important, going back here to the, just kidding. Sorry. So going back to the beginning of the chart, very important. When you're reading brioche, when you're on the wrong side, and the words are over here on this side of the chart, you read the chart from left to right. When you're on the front side of your work and the words are over here, you read the chart from right to left. So when you're doing the chart, if the words, so on this side, we're reading the chart this way. When we flip it over, we're reading the chart this way. And that's so that way the chart lines up. So make sure that depending upon what side you're on will depend upon how you read the chart. Please. Don't make the same mistakes that others before you have made. And if you have any questions, post it in the Discord. Someone will be more than happy to answer, especially if it's in between streams. I'll try to answer it first, but there is a more than capable knitting community who can answer any questions you have. And if you are knitting along, I want to see the pictures because I want to see what y'all are up to because I'm nosy. So same thing after stream, I will post where I ended up. I'll post a picture of my progress, what row I ended up on. For the most part, this is only being knit on stream. I'm just going to knit a few more rows today so that I leave it on a good spot so I remember where to pick up again next time. With that, though, we should find somebody to raid. It took me like 5 restarts to figure out the chart with the dark side and the light side, and that is very common. But I'm on a roll now, and I'm on row 17. Yes! I can't wait to see it. I cannot wait to see it. You, of course, are more than welcome to knit past whatever row I'm on. You don't have to keep up with me don't think you're falling behind. Go at your own pace. If you're not as far as I am, that's fine. If you're way farther than me, don't care. I'm going at this pace to go over questions, to answer things, trying to make it as user-friendly as possible. And I am going back and highlighting all of the VODs. So if you have questions at a certain section, that way you can go back to the row that I'm on to see how I do it if you have questions. All right. Let's see who's online. Because Stacy needs lunch. Lunch. Who we got that's doing the crafty business? The crafty business. Let's see here. 9.5 just started. I don't know what they're doing. Yarn Crafter's Corner is playing Psychopaths if y'all want some gaming action. Chaotic Good Mage is cooking up a storm. Cicalia is doing something. Let's see. What are these people up to? 9.5 is doing a Halloween costume speed run for crocheting a Nightmare King Grim headpiece. And they are just starting if we want to hang out. Cicalia is continuing the Stardew Valley Stitch Along cross stitch piece. And then Yarn Crafter's Corner is gaming it up with Psychopaths Mandatory Happiness. Does anybody have any suggestions, preferences? Otherwise, we're going to say hi to 9.5. Because it's going to be a party, and I know she's going to be streaming for quite a while since she's just starting. Fergster, take it easy. Does anyone have a preference? Anybody? Otherwise, we're going to go say hi to 9.5. Thusly named because she has 9.5 fingers after a freak alligator accident as a child. True story. Also, one of the most adorable people. All right, no preferences. 9.5 it is. Here we go. Atomic Raid. Copy this. Le boop. Guys, thank you for hanging out. Tuesday, so we will do a bonus stream tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Eastern time. I'll be playing World of Tanks. Please come keep me company in my misery. We will be back at our regular streams for Tuesday and Thursday nights at 7 p.m. Eastern. And then Saturday is a big old question mark Normally we stream every Saturday at 10 a.m. Eastern. This Saturday I have a work shift. I have a bonus work shift from 3 a.m. to 9 a.m. So either I'll come home and the stream will start a little late and we'll just do it up for the afternoon, or we'll cancel Saturday and we'll move it over to Sunday at the same time, Sunday at 10 a.m. I will post on Twitter and Discord what we're doing, so make sure you're following one of those so you can get the update. Thank you for being here. Please take care of yourselves. Be nice to each other, and I will catch you guys next time. Bye!